everyone, it's Jackie from the Marengo-Union Library here to show you how to make our May adult craft. What you're going to be getting in your kit is a clay pot, some bumblebee templates, some twine, some wire, some yellow paint, some yellow craft foam, and some black craft foam. And you are going to make a bumblebee hive, okay? The first thing you want to do is take your clay pot and you want to paint it yellow. Now it's going to take a couple coats. So why don't you go ahead and get started on that. And then while waiting for the first coat to dry, we can work on cutting out our templates. So what I would suggest you do is to take your templates and staple them to the craft foam, to the yellow foam. Because that way you can just cut around the edges. All right, see, that's what I've done there. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and cut around the shape of the bumblebee. I went ahead and did a couple already. I'll do this one to show you how I'm using the template on the craft foam to cut out my bumblebee. Now you can also take pipe cleaners if you want to make a constructive bumblebee. I'm sending you home craft foam, but by all means, if you can find bumblebees maybe at the Walmart. I had a hard time finding them, but maybe you'll find them. Or, let's see, here we go. All right, one bumblebee. Okay, so now I'm going to take this staple out very carefully. All right. Well, you might want to tape it on there instead if you want to. Because this will leave little staple marks, but that's okay. Now, this kind of looks like a swan, doesn't it? So you're probably going to need your template handy so that you can draw the stripes on the bee, like I've done there. So he's got a round face here, and I'm going to go ahead and trace around the edges. First, we're going to make his head, and then his little stingers. I will show you that in a minute. All right, so here is my bumblebee, the outline of my bumblebee. See, now he's starting to look like a bumblebee, isn't he? So then I'm going to give my bumblebee some stripes. And I'm going to give him two little antler things, stingers. Let's see. All right. And then we have a bumblebee. Okay, so I've got 3 bumblebees because I went ahead and made some ahead of time. So, assuming that my pot is dried, like I said, it might take maybe 2 or 3 coats to cover it all in yellow. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your bumblebees aside for now. And you're going to take some twine and you're going to glue it on the bottom. That one. You're probably going to have to cut the twine first to measure it. See, you want it around the edge here first. Okay, I'll show you that one before I glue it on. See, I'm just taking some twine. I cut some twine to fit around there. And then I'm going to use my glue gun. With all this other stuff. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to take the the glue gun and put some glue there, and then start my twine. You're gonna have to do a little bit at a time. Otherwise, because hot glue, which is a good thing when we're doing crafting, it dries very quickly, doesn't it? All right. Okay, it's starting to look like a hive, isn't it? See, the first part is done. Just make sure that's in shape. Okay, then I'm going to take my next piece of twine. There, it looks like that one fits. Now you probably want to start at the same spot that you started. That way you've got maybe a backside to your hive here. There we go. So this is where the other two ends met. So I'm going to do maybe like halfway up and start my next one there. There we go. Now, if by chance you need to take the rope off, the twine off, and you can't do it right away, you're probably might need to paint your part of that pot again, because I know I took my twine off at one point. I went to put it back on and it took some of the paint off. But see, as you can see, our hive is taking shape here. My glue gun isn't working real well. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to put one more piece here at the top. Okay, actually, it looks like this piece here, maybe I cut a little too big, but that's okay. I can always trim it. So I'm going to start it right here and go around that way. Even though bees can be annoying sometimes if they sting us, but it's only because they're scared, right? We need bees, because bees pollinate the flowers, don't they? And without bees, we wouldn't have beautiful flowers. Or trees, budding trees like fruit trees, like apple trees and pear trees. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the twine down there, so now it looks like a hive, right? Okay, let it dry for 1 second here. I can trim that if it's too long. There we go. Okay, then you're going to have a piece of floral wire here. And you're going to do is you're going to make that kind of into a V. Now, you may not want it to be even on both sides. You might want to have like one bee higher than the other. So I've made this into like a V, okay? And then I'm going to poke it into my flower pot or my beehive now. Use some pliers here to get that so it fits into my hole. There we go. All right. And then now, let's see, I can turn this over, and I'm going to put some glue on the inside there just to keep it down. So I'm going to, as you can see, I kind of bent that down a little bit, and then I'm going to do some dabs of glue in there just so it stays put. Okay, got a puddle of glue in there. Okay, so hopefully that'll dry quickly, and I'm going to let that sit there for a minute, and then I'm going to take my bees, and you can put the bees on top of the wires, different spots. You can also put your bees on the side, okay? All right, this is still wiggling around a little bit. Okay. You're also gonna have a piece of black foam too, and what you're gonna do with that is you're gonna make a little, kind of a half of an oval, okay? And that's gonna be the entryway for your bees to get in there. So maybe I'll put that after I've got my bees situated. That way I'll know how I want my bees to look on here. So there we go. Okay. Let's see. And then I think I've got one more bee that's going to try to get into the hive. So now I can decide where I want to put my entrance to the hive. I'll put it right here. There we go. So make sure you put the twine on first, because the door to the hive is going to be, the entrance to the hive is going to be kind of partially covering that piece of twine. Plus you want to maybe get your other bee situated. Okay, and then I have this one here, and I can decide, I can put a little bit of glue here and decide maybe where I want him to be. Maybe he wants to be actually in the back, or maybe he wants to be like right here. Okay. All right, we have made our beehive project. All right, enjoy. All right, and I will see you again next month. Next month we're going to be doing some art using water bottles, and I'll provide the water bottles and some paint, and well, I don't want to tell you too much. All right, just make sure you watch for that when the sign up starts, and we'll see you again next month, okay? Bye everyone, thanks for joining me.